In the 1913, science and religion was having a conflict. What would make the Prophet Noble Drew Ali an expert on science in the 1913? Now, if he was prophesizing black in science means death, he didn't qualify what he meant. Did he talk about black the color, black the people, black as an organism, black as a frequency? What was he talking about? See, in science now, you just can't make a statement like that and say, well, black in science means death. You have to specifically talk about the characteristics of what you are trying to analyze and use a methodology in that formula to actually solve the problem, right? So in 1913, science was developing. It was more so in art in 1913. It was developing. So he has no credentials to say or to speak. And that's one of the things that we call a fallacy of authority. Fallacy of authority is when you say,
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man? Bro, I'm out, man. That nigga's tripping. What is up, man?
The perspective that we're talking about is the perspective of civics and law. We're not talking about anything else. We're not talking about out there in the universe, the blackness of, we're not talking about that. We're not talking about the blackness of the womb. We're not talking about the blackness of the earth. We're not talking about the blackness of, every color comes from black. We're not talking about, the high carbon skin content, and we're not talking about that. We're talking about from a law perspective, which law governs all events. So law applies every day, all day. How many ever hours of the day you want to put in the day, it's cool. Law still applies. The science that treats positive law, because there's negative law, right? So the science that treats positive law is called jurisprudence, right? Jurisprudence is a science. Now, according to science, black means death. When you classify yourself as black, this is why Noble Drew Ali told people, you are not Negro, black, colored, or Ethiopian. Why? Because these names were names given to slaves by slaveholders in 1779, lasted until 1865. This is a new era of time now. Proclaim your nationality. And then you're supposed to proclaim your nationality, not be in the dead status of a slave under the brand black, Negro, colored, etc. That's just what it is. So jurisprudence, the philosophy of law, or the science which treats the principles of positive law and legal relations. The term is wrongly applied to actual systems of law, or to current views of law, or to suggestions for its amendments, but is the name of a science. This science is a formal or analytical rather than a material one. It is the science of actual or positive law. It is wrongly divided into general and particular, or into philosophical and historical. It may therefore be defined as the formal science of positive law. So that's the science that we're talking about. Jurisprudence. Well, you know, in the science of... We're not talking about that science. We're talking about jurisprudence. That's it. So black, according to science, means death. Now, from a law perspective, death doesn't mean in the coffin, cremated or whatever. From a law perspective, forget about all the other stuff. Law only. That's all we're dealing with. Law. Civics. That's all. We're not talking about anything else right now. Black.
Okay, I got you.
Yes.
All right. So in England, right? When
Yeah.
Al-Mansur began to have conversations at the embassy in England, right?
Yes.
That is when
Was he sitting around talking about black people, or was he talking about Moors?
He was talking about his.
Was he talking about black people, or was he talking about Moors?
He was talking about
question again. Was he talking about black people, or was he talking about Moors?
He wasn't talking about black people. He was
Of
talking
course
about.
he wasn't.
No, he
because
wasn't.
it's a brand that has its life in North America from Dutch masters after they came to North America.
He was talking about his sultan. That's what he was talking about. During work, Al-Mansur was.
Let me ask you a question. What was his nationality?
His nationality, he was a sultan.
No, it's nationality.
I asked you what his nationality was.
They were forming nations.
I didn't ask you his position.
They weren't even forming nations.
Listen, he said, what is his
I
nationality?
didn't ask you his position. I asked you his nationality.
Not his title. It's like saying Esquire.
Al-Mansur was establishing the Moroccan.
I didn't ask you what he was doing. I asked you what his nationality.
Going back to that, we're saying, what is his nationality? What was his nationality?
I don't believe that it was a nation.
I didn't ask you what your beliefs are. I asked you what was his nationality.
Okay, watch this.
Because you keep bringing him up.
I am bringing him. Do you know who he is?
Because-
first of all,
No, we
Sure
know
I
who he
do.
is, but we just asked his nationality. We just
Did he-
hold on. We
Did
just
he have
asked
a
what was his
nationality?
nationality.
I don't believe he had a nationality. That's my point. You're saying his
Conversation's
nationality
over.
was.
I speak about the Black Guard. I speak about the fact that they were vassals of the Turks and the Ottomans. Nobody is saying that those were Moors. That was the empire fell. You're talking post 1615 and all of these things. We spoke about that. So
I didn't watch a DVD. I didn't watch a DVD. I didn't watch a DVD.
I appreciate
didn't watch
your
a
research, but what I'm saying is you're presenting information that certain Moors have presented. Yeah, they were eunuchs. They were because I'm over there doing business, and I hear you talking about the eunuchs. I hear you talk about Al-Mansur, and that's good research. But that's research that's out there. That the Moors were vassals to the Ottoman.
So you're softening it. You're softening. What Al-Mansur
Softening
did
what?
to Timbuktu?
Am I softening what? And
you
first
see?
of all, hold on, brother. Before
you
you even
just came over
continue,
here. Wait.
before you continue, don't ask me if I'm softening something. And I came to talk to you about what I'm saying is
Okay, then
that
tell
this is
me.
history that already happened.
So
and
you're
we
a
spoke
scholar
about that.
Well, I don't listen. Our people don't know this. That's why we're having a conversation.
Our people don't know this.
No, our people don't know who
Well,
Al-Mansur is.
Our
They didn't
people,
watch
if
your
our
DVD.
people, want to
Okay.
study, hold on,
So,
brother. Let me talk.
Because this is my lecture. I don't interrupt you on your lecture. I don't interrupt you on your lecture.
No, because this nigga screaming in my face.
I'm not a nigga. I'm not a nigga.
Dude is
You see something. Now you see now, you done fucked up, you know that, don't you?
I
See what I'm saying?
I thought.
No, so, you know what I'm saying? You done fucked up now, you know that, don't you?
What do you know we have contributed to the world? What have
Yeah.
people like us contribute to the world? What have we done in the world?
You mean you or your ancestors?
Yes,
like
my ancestors.
I don't know where you're from. I don't know where.
My ancestors, like
But I don't know where you're from.
I'm a nigga.
Yes,
What
but
happened,
from
nigga?
where? From where? I cannot tell.
For you. Wait. For you.
So you born here?
Your lecture.
No, cause this nigga screaming in my face.
I'm not a nigga. I'm not a nigga.
Dude is
ancestors.
I don't know where you're from. I don't know where.
My ancestors, like
But I don't know where you're from.
I'm a nigga.
Yes,
What
but
happened,
from
nigga?
where? From where? I cannot tell.
I don't interrupt you on your lecture.
no, cause this nigga screaming in my face.
I'm not a nigga. I'm not a nigga.
Dude is
I mean you or your ancestors?
Yes,
like
my ancestors.
I don't know where you're from. I don't know where.
My ancestors, like
But I don't know where you're from.
I'm a nigga.
Yes,
What
but
happened,
from
nigga?
where? From where? I cannot tell.
See it this way, but I'ma say this. I'ma say
I actually came over here and agreed with you, and I said that yes, that did happen, that they had the Black Guard, that they had a bunch of eunuchs, that they had a bunch of vassals, that the Ottoman Empire...
What are you gonna do about it, Moor?
Hold on.
What are you gonna do about it, Moor?
I'm
do you
here,
educate our children?
I'm here,
Do you educate our children about what we should do about them? Do you see them as our friends or do you see them as our enemies?
All right, so first of all, the Ottoman Empire fell, right? The fucking Turks are in Egypt, motherfucker. That's who runs Egypt right now. What are you gonna do about it? That's the Turks.
Telling the truth.
That's the Turks.
I am telling the truth.
You talk about what am
But
I
I
gonna
am
do?
telling the truth.
When you was in Egypt, what did you do to them?
We ran a conference. We took 1,000. We took an army there.
What did you do to them?
We took an army there.
What did you do to them?
educate
What
our
did you
people to
bring
take back our culture.
But what did you bring back?
We
With your
brought
army?
back the truth.
What's the truth?
We brought back the truth.
Egypt, the Turks are still
From the
running
time
Egypt.
period. Wait. You're talking about what I did.
Is being felt around the world. When I go to Morocco, hold on, because you're like, what did I go to Morocco and do? What am I going to go to Morocco and do? The Ottoman Empire had vassals in 1600. And in 1500, what the fuck you talking about? I'm going to go to Morocco in 2016 and do something in Morocco?
You know what you're going to see in Morocco? You're going to see slavery in Morocco. You're going to see slavery in Mauritania. You're going to see African slavery. And you know what? You're not going to be able to stand it. You're not going to be able to stand what you see there.
Look, I can't stand slavery in America.
Okay,
Dr.
so,
Reggie.
but
Hold on.
it's
Hold on.
there.
Hold
It's
on.
there.
It's slavery in America. Niggas is in jail. What are you doing about it? It's slavery in the fucking streets. It's sex slaves in Atlanta right now. They selling women. It's sex slaves going on right in Harlem, brother. Do you know about that? Do you know about those black doors where you pay $30 and go and have sex with fucking little girls? You know about Backspace? So it's slavery all over the place. And anytime I see slavery, I can't stand it anywhere that I go. So if going to Mauritania or if going to Morocco is going to turn my stomach, God damn it, it's turning my stomach in Harlem because I know what's going on to our people.
So let's tell the truth. About it. Let's tell the whole truth about it. Let's just not minimize or maximize it to our own personal situation. When I say 1,000 people, Dr. Milana Karene, Dr. Ben, Dr. Asa Carruthers, Dr.
Ottoman Turks and things of that nature, and they became privateers or pirates and things of that nature. and got into slavery and got into all of these other things. Like the picture that you show, them niggas are slaves at that point. When they wearing fezzes and they around dudes with the turbans on, they've been conquered at that point. They're vassals. That's what reading the Golden Age of the Moors will show you. Ivan Van Sertima, was that one of your teachers?
I met Ivan Van Sertima several
times. Was that one of your teachers who was part of the pantheon of scholars who you bring their names up because you talk about Clark, you talk about Bill, you don't bring up Sertima?
Yeah, he came in the Black Studies Department. Can I have the mic for a second? Yes, he came in the Black Studies Department at a time where he was in transition. And Dr. Leonard Jeffries helped Dr. Ivan Van Sertima move from the position that he was in to a bigger position. So Dr. Jeffries in the Department of Black Studies was a refuge and a reservoir for Dr. Yes, right, for Dr. Ivan Van Sertima at that particular time. And so some of his books that came out, some of his books, they came before Columbus, right? Some of this stuff, right, and the Golden Age of the Moors is a mistitled book. It should be the Golden Age of West Africa that the Marrakesh destroyed, right? It should be that, because these were independent African Islamic societies, and that ancient Marrakesh came and destroyed. So the mathematics and sciences that you talk about belonging to Morocco.
So the Almoravid dynasty that came out of West Africa, the Almoravid, the Almohad dynasties that came out of West Africa, those were conquered by the Marrakesh Empire? That's what you're telling me?
No, they created the Marrakesh wasn't around when they came. Marrakesh wasn't around when Abdullah Yassin began his Melekite expansion as if he was Osama bin Laden or any of them, right? Marrakesh wasn't even a town.
I just asked you.
It wasn't even. No,
I just asked you, was the Almoravid dynasty and the Almohad dynasty coming out of Senegal, coming out of West Africa, going up into Spain, conquering, disposing of the dynasties that were there, conquering and retaking the caliphate or retaking Islam from a West African perspective in Spain? Are you saying that they were influenced by Marrakesh, by white Arabs, when they went up in fucking Spain and killed them? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, what I'm saying is that Abdullah Yassin
Stop saying all these names. Just say yes or no, bro.
No, I'm not talking to you. I'm not talking to you. Why you
disrespecting me?
Why am you cursing at me? I'm disrespecting you.
You a question and
you cursing at me, and I'm disrespecting you.
Yelling at me, Reggie.
See that? You see that? You start cursing at me. You can't handle it. See, that's the whole point.
I can't handle it.
No. See, that's why. No. See, this is what you want to do, right? You want to do this. You try to want to do this with force, right? I'm an elder. I don't believe he had a nationality. That's my point. You're saying his nationality was Morocco.